cleaner, high-welfare local food and a countryside which protects the environment, wildlife and special landscapes. That's the vision of the Agriculture Bill, which is due to receive royal assent today to become the Agriculture Act. But will that vision become a reality? The bill has struggled through the House of Commons and the Lords. It's stumbled over whether UK farmers will be protected from lower standard food imports. And questions still remain about the efficacy of a new subsidy system of public money for public goods, which is only now being piloted. That scheme, called ELMS, will pay farmers for things like air quality, carbon sequestration and biodiversity. So I started by asking the Farming Minister, Victoria Prentice, where food production fits into it.
Food security is very much at the centre of the Agriculture Bill. It means different things to different people, if we're honest. Having enough food as a nation is one measure. Producing a percentage of the food that we eat is another measure. I very much feel that the policies that we will start to make as a result of this bill will enable farmers to be more productive, to work with smarter ways of picking food, producing food going forward. But none of that means that we're watering down the environmental message. Really far from it.
Part of the bill, originally the discussions mentioned golden handshakes, letting farmers go, paying them to leave the industry. Does your vision include fewer farmers? If so, how many?
I don't think I'd want to put a number on how many people produce food in the UK. Certainly the family farm is very much a concept which is familiar to me and is very much part of the way that we will produce food going forward.
Coming from that background yourself, are you sure you can make promises about protecting the future of smaller family farms?
Well, what we can't do is promise that everybody who is currently farming will want to continue going forward. I mean, obviously, people need to be able to retire and move on if they feel that farming is not for them. There are provisions in the bill which allow us to help people to exit, but I'm not at all envisaging a mammoth exit from farming, far from it, or indeed a very different look for farms in the next few years.
Do you think English farming will be fit to trade internationally under the new Agriculture Act? There's been so much discussion about amendments to protect standards, and there has been strengthening of the Trade and Agriculture Commission. But is it really enough?
I feel we're in a happy place at the moment with the right amount of scrutiny of future trade deals. We've got the Trade and Agriculture Commission, which is full of real experts.
It took an awful lot of pushing from the industry to get the Trade and Agriculture Commission, and then only recently to get the legislative underpinning, didn't it? It took a lot of pressure for you to actually get that done.
We had to make law that was going to last. This is not, we don't get the opportunity to make an Ag Act every few years. This is a really pivotal and exciting moment. And I feel we've got to the right place, the right balance between high welfare, which we're very proud of, and trade. I think the balances are right, the checks are right, and we should be really proud of ourselves.
You've guaranteed money for farming until the end of this Parliament, but this Act won't guarantee it for any longer than that. Can farmers feel confident that funding for the new schemes will be there for them in the future?
Well, all we can do is guarantee it for the course of this Parliament. We're not able as politicians to do more than that. What this Act does do is put the right policies in place to make sure that farming will be in a good place at the end of this Parliament, when it will have been well funded to at least the level that it is currently.
It's been 70 years since the last Agriculture Act. What's the vision in 70 years? Where will we be?
I hope we'll be producing more food to eat locally than we do at the moment. I hope that we will have greater biodiversity, and many of the species that were around 70 years ago will still be around. I don't think we've focused quite enough on that in the last 40 years, say. I hope that we will still have the concept of the family farm and that our animal welfare standards will be among the best in the world.
Farming Minister Victoria Prentice. That's all from us this morning. I'm Anna Hill. The studio